Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of our Design Thinking for Education series. This episode is on observation methods, including fly on the wall, contextual inquiry, and immersive research. I'm Debbie Pixton. What is observation? Observation methods require intentionally using your senses to learn about what people do in the places they live, work, and play. They involve building an understanding for the context of a problem and empathy for the people involved. And they most often involve going to a situation rather than bringing that situation into an artificial setting. In considering the design cycle, it likely does not surprise you that all three of these observation methods are used in the empathize phase. So why observe? Well, as the famous anthropologist Margaret Mead said, what people say, what people do, and what they say they do are entirely different things. A few reasons to observe include gaining insight into people's workflow and how their environment affects their behavior. You have the opportunity to see firsthand nuanced information that people may not otherwise provide. You can understand the reasons for people's behavior and the tasks they place importance on, and you can gather real-time data to help inform steps moving forward. So what makes observation human-centered? Well, traditional observations provide a limited perspective based on one-time short-term visits, and they're often focused on compliance or completion. Human-centered observations then provide opportunities for clarifying questions, multiple engagements, or follow-up inquiries to deepen empathy and understanding before looking to address challenges. Often, a human-centered approach to observation is about working collaboratively to solve a problem or to grow. Let's talk about three ways to observe: fly-on-the-wall observation, contextual inquiry, and immersive research. These are all forms of ethnographic research, which is the study of the culture and social organization of a particular group or community. Here are some visual references for each of these methods before we discuss them more fully. In fly-on-the-wall observation, observers are back away from the class they are observing. In contextual inquiry, the observer is side by side with the person they are observing, asking questions or inquiring about what they see along the way. And in immersive research, the observer is actively following along and doing what the person they are observing is also doing. In all three of these methods, the goal is to gain understanding about a situation or process and deepen empathy with the people they are observing. They all lean heavily on the observer's keen abilities to watch, listen, and record notes. All three of these methods are designed to help observers challenge assumptions they may have gotten about a given situation, and they are all designed to inform subsequent methods of problem solving. Now let's talk about how each of these methods are different. Fly-on-the-wall observations are unobtrusive and are designed to not interrupt the flow of whatever is happening. Further, they are designed to capture people's actual behavior. You do not engage in the situation directly at all when you are observing in a fly-on-the-wall observation. It makes sense then to rely on fly-on-the-wall observations when you are observing dialogue where your voice could bias the conversations, or when close proximity might influence the actions and behaviors of the people in the situation you want to learn about. Contextual inquiry, on the other hand, occurs in the situation and environment you want to learn about. It allows you to ask clarifying questions as you go, and participants describe what they are doing as they do it, which gives you insight into their thought processes, in addition to what you can otherwise see, hear, smell, taste, or touch. Contextual inquiry is a good choice when you need more information about a situation or an environment because you aren't familiar with it, or when you need to understand thought processes more clearly. Contextual inquiry can also help you build credibility with stakeholders because they see how you are working to better understand their experiences. Finally, immersive research allows you to experience what someone else does, often by doing it along with them. This type of research includes feeling what someone else feels, not only seeing it. Immersive research is journey-based, so you usually want to use it when you want to go through a process or experience that someone has, like shopping in a store blind or calling customer service using hearing-assisted equipment. While all three of these methods involve using your senses, you can see how they are slightly different and provide you with different information that may be useful to you based on the challenge you are working to address. A few example applications may be helpful. If you want to learn about a staff member or a student's school day, you may want to participate in immersive research to really feel what that person goes through. If you want to understand how someone engages with a specific technology, contextual inquiry may be a good choice, so you can understand their thought processes in addition to observing what they do. If you want to gain a better sense of how students are learning or engaging with a particular topic, fly-on-the-wall observations may give you what you need. Similarly, if you want to see what office or classroom practices are like, but your participation will impact how those things proceed, fly-on-the-wall observations may be your best option. Regardless of which method you choose, you can follow a general process to get you started and add in the nuances. Step 1. Identify what you want to learn, as well as a place and a time for observation. Step 2. Make a plan to guide your observation. Your plan may include how much time you'll spend on specific interactions or processes, a checklist of activities you want to see performed or criteria that you are evaluating, how you will take notes, and how you will use the information that you gather. Once you have a plan, your third step is to obtain access to the location you want to observe and permission as necessary. You'll then need to prepare your materials for capturing what you see and then go out and observe. While you are observing and afterwards, make sure to record your findings. Where appropriate, use written notes, photos, and audio or video recordings. Remember, your notes should be neutral, listing what you observe with your senses, not judgments. Observations can be done either in person or virtually. The best rule of thumb for observations is, if your situation is in person, you should observe in person. If your situation is virtual, you should also observe virtually. Here are a few tips and tricks to help you have successful observations. Do establish your purpose and audience. Do gain permission before beginning. Do observe from multiple vantage points if you can. Do take detailed, neutral notes. Do dress for the occasion. Do consider using multiple observers or means of documentation when possible. Be sure to be mindful of the effect your presence has on your results, and be aware of power dynamics at play based on the people in the setting. Finally, remember to use observation as a launch point for understanding, not an endpoint. A few don'ts for you. Don't chime in with your own thoughts. Be sure not to add leading questions. Don't ask, "How fun was that?" Ask, "How did you feel about that?" It might not have been fun. Finally, don't go in unprepared. Have clear outcomes and a plan in place for execution. There are a few magic phrases when you are conducting a contextual inquiry that can be especially useful. Can you tell me more about? I saw you did. Could you walk me through that process? Can you show me how you do? These magic phrases help you obtain specifics while avoiding generalized details. To review, remember that various forms of observation are great places to start building understanding and empathy towards other people. Be sure to use observation as a starting point for further refining your problem statements and your solutions. And as an observer, always go in without assumptions as a neutral party to gather the cleanest data for your purposes. Thanks for watching.